right, good afternoon, NSA. All right, welcome to the Music Legends and Heroes series, presented by the National Museum of African American Music. Music Legends and Heroes is a unique experience where students have an interactive conversation and with outstanding artists and industry leaders who are all a part of the new Nashville scene.
What significant impact do you believe Hendrix's music has had on the American culture?
Guitar players weren't really the center of attention that they became before Jimmy. You know, people were playing guitar, but it was mostly rhythm. And, you know, you hear some solos, you hear some Merle Travis and some of the country stuff. You hear that kind of thing. And some of the R&B, but you didn't hear just step on it, like blow your face off playing. You know, we're all like music nerds in here, so it's okay. All right, so, you know, most guitar players, we love effects, right? We really dig effects, and we like amps, we like a lot of noise. Jimmy was the guy who did that. The fuzz face, the wah pedal, he made that stuff popular. The phaser, using that stuff in solo, using effects and sounds. It's Jimmy.
Jimmy's music gave African Americans an even louder and stronger voice for inclusion and diversity, royalty justice, if you will, affirmation of our genius and confirmation of our innovative contributions to all music art forms and to the music industry universally.
When Jimmy moved to London, it seems as though his career took off, if I'm not mistaken, maybe within like a 4-year time frame. Why do you think that was the case?
There in the 60s, when Jimmy began to feel a pull to do his own thing and work less for others, he wasn't too well received in his own country. You know, there's a saying, a prophet is not honored in his own home, okay? And to a certain extent, that could apply to Hendrix. He was different, his music was different, his personality was different, his dress was different, all this kind of thing. And unfortunately, we tend to ostracize those people that are different from us. So he couldn't get his thing going in America, but the musicians who did befriend him in America saw potential and they saw what was possible. And some of those people that saw him stateside were actually from England, from London. And they said, well, why don't you come over here and just do your thing and this, that, and the other. And so there was a wide open opportunity. Nobody knew Jimmy in London, or at least like they would on the stateside. So he was kind of free to do whatever he wanted to do. He could set his own bar. He could set it as high as he wanted to. He could experiment as much as he wanted to. And then with him being an American, an African-American American, he kind of stood out in that respect. Oh, here's this guy from America. He's black. He plays guitar and all this kind of thing. So he kind of stood out. He's going to draw a crowd anyway. But on top of all that, he could walk the walk. He could talk the talk. And that's really where he kind of, or at least that's the beginnings, where he really found his voice, found his style, found his stage presence, and all this kind of thing. And then by '67, when he was invited to come back and play for the Monterey Pop Festival, everybody suddenly was like, well, who's Jimi Hendrix and where did he come from? Well, he's from Seattle, Washington. He's an American. But so London kind of gave him that opportunity to develop his own style and just give it back to us here in the States.
And when I went on the road, Jimi Hendrix was in the band. Okay, he was taking a break from one of his tours, and we ended up playing together on the road for about a year and a half. Jimmy was on stage. We started a jam, and Jimmy took the front. And the next thing we knew, everybody was standing on their feet. And Jimmy and the band, we were just rocking. Little Richard was not on stage yet. He's standing like this, back in the wings, and he's watching all this stuff go down, right? And the people are just frantic. because Jimi Hendrix had taken the front of the stage. And little Richard runs out and he says, "Wait a minute, baby." And he gets on top of the piano. And that's where it started. When you go back and look at his videos, he would stretch his hands out with his shiny suit on, and he would say, "I'm the star, baby, I'm the star." Point being is that Jimmy would always take opportunity to make something happen on stage, whether he was in the background or in the forefront.